Hey Leo, welcome to Aria Moon Tarot, and thank you so much for being here. This is your love reading for anyone with sun, moon, or rising in Leo. It's a general reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If it doesn't, check your other placements. All right, let's get started. So let's hop right into your tarot and see if you are on this person's mind. So let's see. We have the Two of Inspiration, Two of Wands energy. I'm going to move this off to the side. The Star coming out. Oh, another card just flew out. What do we have? We have the Two of Materials in reverse. Let's try to move these up. I think I'm going to be pulling a lot of cards here. So, let's see. We'll get a few more. Four of Emotions, Four of Cups. Oh. And the Nine of Inspiration. Let's look at what we've got going on the bottom of the deck. We've got the Lovers. Oh, God. The Page of Emotion. The Page of Material. And the Tower. I had to keep pulling from the bottom of the deck because, yeah, it was a lot. I just wanted to see. So we got four, so that's cool. Yeah, this person still thinks about you. There's literally no doubt in my mind about that looking at this. If you look at these first cards that came out, I was trying not to speak too soon, but the second I saw the Two of Inspiration, I'm like, yeah, this person thinks about you. And then the Star comes out. If you look at these cards together, the Two of Inspiration shows someone here, like with a telescope, and they're looking toward something. And what that something is in this scenario is the Star. So this is actually representative of what's going on here exactly. Your person is in this Two of Wands, Two of Inspirations energy, and they have their sights set directly on you, the Star. You're in their thoughts a lot, actually. In their eyes, you are the star. It's like you're the star of the show. You're the main attraction. You're kind of a big deal. So it's almost like they are putting you on a pedestal. Which I think is maybe creating a little bit of a complicated situation in their mind. We'll kind of get into that. But as I'm looking at this, yeah, I do think they have you kind of on a pedestal, and it might be a little difficult for them. Because it feels like, basically, the best way I can put this is actually the cards. The cards are a perfect illustration of this. Look how small this person is, how they're depicted so small in this card, and how large the person is in the Star card. This is how they see themselves in comparison to you. They see themselves small in comparison to you. They feel like they pale in comparison to you. They are literally all over your social media. This is the vibe that I get, because this person is definitely looking from afar. They're not only thinking about you, they are looking. I'm not trying to like creep you out. This isn't stalker vibes. This is just they're a little bit apprehensive, and they are looking from afar to see what's going on. And I feel like if you're the type of person that doesn't really post a lot online, it's sort of driving them nuts. And I also think that they are probably the type of person that doesn't comment on anything or like any of your photos, because there's this real feeling that they want to kind of stay in the shadows. They want to stay in the background. They don't really want you to know that they are thinking about you. Yeah. It's funny because a similar energy came through for pile one, but like not like this at all. Like I was talking about potentially somebody's blocked on social media, and I'm kind of getting that same impression here that you may have blocked this person on social media, so they might have to kind of go through other channels in order to see anything that you post. If you are the type of person that posts on social, like they might have to use their friend's page or something to look at your pictures, or they maybe like created a fake account or something to be able to look at your pictures. Because there's kind of this feeling of like, I'm looking, but I'm going to stay hidden. I'm going to stay in the shadows. The issue that I see with this is they're just constantly checking to see if anything's changed, but they're not really taking any action. But you're on this person's mind a lot. Like, this is a really clear message. I feel like the message wasn't quite this clear for the first group, but this is totally clear. It's like, if I had to just answer your question, do they think about you? Yes, absolutely. They think about you. The problem is that they've kind of blown this whole thing out of proportion, and it feels like they don't really think that you're interested in having any kind of connection with them anymore. And they're looking for signs constantly that you might have moved on, because that's kind of the thing that's scaring them the most, is the idea that you might have moved on from them and that you wouldn't be interested in them anymore, or you're not interested in, like, even if this isn't romantic, like they think, oh, they don't want to be my friend anymore, or they don't want to speak to me anymore. And like they're living their life, they've moved on, they're happy without me, is kind of the feeling I'm getting. It's really clear to me that their thoughts are a mess when it comes to this. Their brain feels very disorganized and chaotic when they think about you. So there might have been a lot of confusion. Maybe they're confused about what happened in this connection. Maybe they're confused about something that you said. They could even be confused about actions that they took. They don't really know why they acted the way that they did. But I feel like when they try to think about this, they can't make sense of anything. They can't land on a solid plan. They can't figure out what to do about it. They just kind of go back and forth. They think that one plan is the way to go one day, and then the next day it's changed. They're all over the place with this. It feels like their life got really out of balance at some point. So this might be what happened to bring separation into this connection. It kind of feels like they put too much attention in the wrong places, or this is what they're starting to see or realize in this time, that that they're just in this place of only being able to think about you, but not being able to talk to you about it. It feels like they're looking back on what took place and they're going, I invested too much of my time and attention into these other things that don't matter as much to me. That really might be why there's distance between the two of you right now. So they're looking at where they chose to invest their time and their energy, and they're not happy with it anymore. They aren't satisfied with what they chose to keep in their life versus what they let slip out of their life, if that makes any sense. They're kind of like, they're kind of dissatisfied with like I'm thinking of, for some reason, like the pile of rocks that they're left with, which is a very odd analogy, but let's say that, you know, this person had like a pile of red rocks and a pile of blue rocks, and they only spent their time, you know, paying attention to the blue rocks, and eventually the red rocks, like maybe someone else took them, or, you know, something else happened. They didn't pay enough attention to them, and now they're kind of looking at their pile of blue rocks like, well, I would sure like to have some red rocks. I feel like that's how this person feels about you when they think about you. They're kind of like, I invested all this time and energy into things that aren't fulfilling me anymore, things that aren't satisfying to me anymore, and that was a huge mistake. I think that there's a feeling that they feel like they're kind of trapped by their past decisions, is how this is coming through. And I get the feeling that this person thinks a lot about how they can get you back into their life. It feels like they get so twisted up in their head that they can't find a good solution. And they kind of feel like they need to establish some boundaries in their life. So how this is coming through, I'll give you a couple of examples because it might not fit your scenario exactly, but it might be similar to this. This could be somebody who was like always working. They were so dedicated to their their job, that they did not spend enough time nurturing this relationship. And once this relationship was out of their grasp, they are finding themselves going, you know what, I'm not going to be satisfied with just the job. I should have created more balance in my life. I should have given some of my attention to these other very important aspects of my life, or these important people that are in my life. I should have been in that place, because now I'm left with only the thing that I devoted my time to, and it's not enough. This can also be about other relationships. Maybe this was someone who prioritized other relationships in their life over the relationship that they had with you. They could have prioritized like a connection with a family member or something, and kind of left you out in the dust, out in the wind. Like, and when you finally were like, I don't want to put up with this. Like, either you're going to make me a priority or I'm out of here. Now they're like, you know what? I'm not satisfied with only having that connection. So that's kind of how it's reading. It might be something different, but it does feel like this person put a lot of time and energy into something that now they're seeing just doesn't pay. It could be as simple as like, it could be silly. It could literally be like video games or something. Like, they devoted all their time to something that was silly until they lost you. And now they see they're not satisfied spending their time doing the thing that they were doing before, or spending time with the people that they were spending time with before. They miss you. They miss you in their life. So with this Nine of Inspiration kind of showing up, this card can talk about establishing firm boundaries. So this might be that this person needs to put some boundaries in place with the people that are in their life. If they overstepped in some way that ruined this connection, they might need to put boundaries in place around their work. If they are a total workaholic and they don't know when to call it a day, they might be working on putting boundaries in place around that, so that they're not bringing their work home all the time, so that they're not constantly glued to their phone or to their computer. There's kind of some reflection here, but I feel like although this person is reflecting, they're still very confused. They're still in their heads about it, and like not exactly sure what course of action to take. When we look at this bottom of the deck energy, this person loves you. Like, I don't know how else to put it. This person really loves you. And when they think about you, they think about how much they love you. They think about how much they wish you were still in their life. It does look to me like they must have done something that ruined this connection. Of course, this energy could be flip-flopped, but it's coming through to me that there's a lot of regret here, and that they have the feeling that they messed up and that they lost everything. Like, they almost had it all and they lost everything. Yeah, the Lovers, the Page of Emotions, the Page of Materials. It does feel like they almost had it. It was like they had it within their grasp and they lost it. Then we have the Tower here. The Tower can represent circumstances that are outside of our control. So they might feel like, or have felt like, they didn't have a lot of choice when it came to this connection, or the way that this connection ended. I think now they're starting to see that they had more choices than they felt like they did at the time with this Four of Emotions here. They had a choice, and they maybe ignored some of the options that were available to them. Maybe some of the ways they could have made this work, some of the ways they could have brought more balance to the situation. They ignored those things and they kind of charged ahead, and now they're seeing that was the moment at which this Tower kind of activated. Some of these choices that they made triggered this Tower moment in them. There's definitely a deep emotional connection here. The Lovers of the Page of Emotions. Definitely a deep emotional connection. Definitely a lot of love here. There's still a lot of love present here. So if this is a connection where you're wondering if there's any ill will, if there's any bad feelings on the other side of things, I would say no. I think this person loves you. And they miss you a lot. So let's pull some oracle cards and see if we can get more clarity on this. we have protection. Yeah, there's a real guarded feeling present for this person. I feel like this is why they're in this Two of Inspiration energy of kind of holding back, waiting, looking, watching from the outside, watching from the sidelines, because there's this feeling that they really want to keep their heart guarded here. And, you know, looking at this, I can see why, because like I was saying, the emotional connection here is very, very deep. So they've got their heart kind of out there in the open. When I look at this page of emotion, you see this heart, it's like a cutout. So imagine that this whole, all this clothing was like a protective shield. It was a protective barrier. I mean, it is. This part is cut out. So it just feels like this person's heart is so exposed because of the depth of feeling that they have for you. It's so exposed that there's some fear here that if they reach out, because it feels like you might not be interested in them anymore. You may have moved on. This Four of Emotions. It's like if they make you an offer, they're like thinking you're not going to be interested in taking it. You're not going to be receptive to this offer. So yeah, they have like a protective shield up around this whole connection. They're trying to protect themselves. They don't want to face rejection from you. Let's see what else the oracle cards can show us about what's going on here. Whoa. Okay, we had a few cards flip out, so let's take all of these. So we have the full moon in Virgo. You are good enough. Yeah, this person's your dreams need a practical plan. Full moon in Taurus. A lot of full moon energy here. And South Node, don't let your past hold you back. You know what I was going to take one of these cards and three came out. And I'm glad they did, because it really shows me that this person is very fearful that, that they're not good enough for you, and that they messed things up so badly that they can never get you back. They have placed you on a pedestal. They have, they've almost placed you in this area that feels out of reach to them. They just don't think you're going to be very receptive to them, and they know what they lost. They know that they want you in their life. Yeah, I think they feel like getting you back would be impossible. And that a lot of these scattered thoughts that they're having, like we were talking about, it looks like their mind is a mess. They can't decide which way to go. With this, your dreams need a practical plan. They need to sort through all of this. They need to, they're starting to realize, I think, that these scattered thoughts are not getting them anywhere. It's not a clear path. They have to kind of decide what they want to do about this. It almost feels like, I'm going to butcher this, you guys, so please forgive me, but there's like, isn't there a Chinese proverb or something about if you chase two rabbits, you'll catch none? That's what it feels like is going on here. Like their brain is so scattered and their thoughts are so disjointed that one minute they want to take one action, the next minute they want to take the other action, and while they're in this place of indecisiveness about how to handle this, they aren't really making any progress towards you. They can't chase the two rabbits at the same time. They need to figure out how to channel this energy in a direction that makes sense and in a direction that will make progress, because just dreaming about this working out for them isn't really working. Like, it's not fixing anything. I think this person would really rather you make a move toward them, because then they won't have to guess about whether or not you'll want to communicate with them, which is a little bit of a cop-out, especially if they are at fault. Like if it was something that they did that caused the two of you to not be in communication now, then it is a little bit of a cop-out. And I think they know that, but still they're like, hey, if this person would just call me, then it would be a whole lot easier, because I would realize that they're interested and I wouldn't have to worry that they're going to reject me. the don't let the past hold you back South Node card, I'm actually getting a message for both of you. So this could be a message for one of you or for both of you. I didn't realize those were so low. Sorry, guys. For them, I think that they're struggling to get past mistakes that they may have made. And they may be struggling about the time when it felt like you pushed them away. So if you really pushed them away, they're like hung up on that fact. They're hung up on the fact that you don't want anything to do with them. They just keep replaying what happened, and they're kind of letting the past scare them into not doing anything about it. So that might be the case. I feel like if this message is for you, and it really could be for both of you, I think that it's telling you to not really let what happened in the past or the way this person behaved in the past, you don't necessarily have to let that dictate how things will go in the future. So maybe allowing yourself to form a new opinion of this person is called for here. But of course, you have to use your own judgment here, because you don't want to repeat the same patterns with them. So if this was something that was unforgivable, or if there's certain things that you need to see in order to feel trusting in this, or in order to want to communicate with them again, definitely make sure all those needs are being met. But this could be a message that's like, you know, this person has done some work and they have changed. So don't necessarily hold them to those past actions forever. Let's get another oracle card for you. Let's see what's going on with this person. We know they're thinking about you, so maybe what else is on their mind, or what are they working on? Oh, dropped it. Okay. So we have clean it up. Yeah. I mean, they need to. That's kind of obvious, because like we were talking about, like their thoughts are all over the place. So I do think this person is trying to do some work, trying to clean some things up, trying to make things right. And I think that for them, it really starts with taking responsibility for what has happened, along with figuring out a definite plan of action if they want to be in communication with you again. And you know, they do. Like, they do. This energy is really a loving energy, and I think that their intentions are pure. Their heart is pure when it comes to this connection. So I'm going to pull a couple more tarot cards. There's one already. Because I'm curious to know if this person shares their thoughts and their feelings about this connection with anyone in their life, or if they're kind of holding this all in. So we had the Ace of Cups come out, and I'm going to pull another. Okay, is this person opening up to anyone? Are they sharing their thoughts about this connection with anyone in their life? We have the Three of Coins in reverse. What this is telling me is that this person wants to open up about what's going on in this connection and how they're feeling. But the issue I think here is that if they were to open up and talk about this, it would be deeply emotional. And they do tend to be guarded. We have this protective energy. They want to kind of like guard their heart and hide all of that. So this isn't someone who's likely to share these feelings with friends or family unless they feel like this person can really relate to them, can understand exactly where they're coming from. For the most part, I get the feeling that they don't feel like anyone would understand with this Three of Coins in reverse. They don't really feel like anyone would get them. Like no one else would see their point of view, or like they doubt that they'd be able to communicate all of this emotion clearly enough to make someone understand. So I would say that if this person does have someone in their life that they're very close to, someone that they can open up to emotionally, they might share with that person. Yeah. I feel like this has to be the kind of friend or family member that it almost feels like they can read each other's minds, because your person doesn't really feel like they're going to be understood. So it's almost like they want to be understood without having to find the right words, if that makes sense. So someone who is very intuitive, who knows them very well, and who would be able to just pick up on all of this, they'll have the conversation, or they'll have the, whatever you want to call it, where like one person's not really talking, because I feel like that's what they want to do. They don't really want to talk about it, but if someone gets it, they pick up on it, they're willing to connect with them over that. But they feel like they're in kind of a unique situation here for whatever reason, and that might just be kind of in their head. They feel like they screwed up in a way that maybe no one else ever has, and that's probably not true, but that's just kind of the heaviness of it. They just feel like nobody's going to get it. Nobody will know why I made these choices or understand where I'm coming from, and I just kind of want to like hold it in. And I think it's more because it's so emotional. It feels almost like if you turn that faucet on, the water is going to spray out everywhere. So they will be careful, and they'll be strategic about who they open up to about this, because it might be a little uncomfortable for them to open up in such an emotional way. So yeah, I think that's all the messages I see for you. This person definitely has a lot of love for you still, and they are still thinking about you. If you liked this reading, don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you feel like it, and I will hopefully see you again in another reading really soon. Bye!